Hi Greg, it's great to meet you this morning. I originally met you via actually social media, so that's what's really quite interesting. One of your executives, Carolyn, she was reading my blog, and I met her actually at a network marketing event in Sydney, and she said that you were doing really well with your use of social media and your blog, and so that's how then she introduced me to you, and I followed her up, and consequently got to have a coffee with you a few weeks ago, which was great. Yeah. So tell me a bit about yourself and Aquint, Greg, so I've got a bit of perspective on your space.
Well, Jeff, I'm what you might call a veteran career recruiter. I've been in this business for 30 years.
Right.
Had my own company for about 12 of those, which was listed on the stock exchange.
Right.
But really it's about Aquint for the last 10 years. I've been the international CEO of Aquint, which is running Aquint's marketing and design staffing business in Asia, I should say, Australia and Europe. We specialise in marketing, design, digital people.
Right, okay. And so how did you get onto to social media? What was your first
Well, I suppose the truth is I'm probably a relatively late adopter. I mean, I've been on LinkedIn and Facebook for a few years in a very basic way. But about a year ago, it occurred to me that something big was happening with social media. And as the CEO of a staffing company, particularly in the digital space, it became clear I needed to know more about it. And a lot of my younger people here were saying, we need to do this, we need to do that. And I didn't feel informed, so I thought the smart thing to do is to dive in. So I got on Twitter and I started to blog. And that was about a year ago, and I've learned a great deal in that 12 months.
Yeah, I noticed actually after I met Carolyn and she introduced me to you, and I actually went and had a look at your blog, and I noticed it's actually your own domain name is actually gregsavage.com. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, which is great from a personal branding point of view for you. So if I type into Google Greg Savage, guess what? You turn up. So that's a great personal brand to be found online so easily. So what has been some of your experiences with blogging and Twitter in the last 12 months?
Well, it's been fascinating, to be honest with you. I won't say I was sceptical, I'll say I was naive. And I've been fascinated by the power and the reach.
Yes.
The global nature of it. I have developed relationships literally all over the world, and a lot of those have turned to offline relationships.
Yes.
The ability for me to influence my target market, which is essentially the recruitment industry and the marketing and digital domain, has been exceptional. The other things have included just the connection between me and my customers is so much closer.
Right.
And they do interact with me. I get complaints. I get thank yous and congratulations about people all over the world in our business. And that's been helpful. And the other thing that's so interesting that I never appreciated is my own staff follow my blog and follow my tweets closely. And so it is another way for me to connect, given that my people are across 13 different countries and I can't go talk to them every day. It's another way for me to influence, to connect, to share values. And I notice that they retweet me, they interact with me, so it's been very powerful from that point of view too.
So they're actually spreading your message and your content while you sleep 24/7.
That's very much the case. And in fact, it's quite fun for me, and I know you do the same thing, to open my computer at 6 o'clock and see what the guys in England have been retweeting, because I mean they're not sycophantic. They don't agree with me. They're not going to retweet it. They might even argue, and that's also very healthy.
Yep. Okay.
And so yes, it's very influential, and I've learned from them too.
Right. One thing you mentioned when we met initially was that an experience you had going to a conference in New Zealand.
Yes.
And the conference, I think, had about 30 or 40 seats still left.
That's it.
So what was the experience with that? I found that quite interesting.
Well, that was probably when it really hit home to me. This was after I'd been doing it for a while. I'd built up a couple of thousand Twitter followers, and I think my blog was within the recruitment industry was getting quite well read. I mean, the numbers aren't big, but you know, it's thousands a week who read it. And I was speaking in New Zealand at a conference for my industry. And the day before, or 2 days before, I called the organisers. I said, how are we going? They said, we've got 80 people, but there's 20 seats left, 25 seats left. But 80's good. I tweeted, hey, I'm coming to this conference, this is the subject, and a link to the conference material. Got retweeted by my New Zealand followers a few times, and that afternoon it filled up. And I was stunned, because it's so hard to promote an event. People have to pay, they have to make the time. And this one tweet, which took me, what, 10 seconds and no cost, managed to do it. And I've had many examples of the power, once you build up a targeted following, and if you're quite niche like I am, that has been the overwhelming learning for me, the power of influence and outcomes that you create through social media.
Right. I found that fascinating personally when you told me that. So the ability actually to fill an event just from a tweet.
Yes.
I certainly I read some information about Conan O'Brien recently in the States where he got dumped from mass media, and he actually just put one tweet out that he was starting a comedy tour. I believe it sold out within 2 hours.
Right.
So your experience, just from a CEO point of view, to actually promote your event has the same effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you actually have done things with your company as well in terms of implementing social media. So can you tell me a little bit about your experience with that?
Well, the more I've learnt about it, and I think and this is maybe jumping ahead, but if there's any CEO watching this, I would say jumping in and getting hands-on, don't delegate. Do what I've done and write a blog, get onto Twitter and learn. It's allowed me to truly understand the power of it. So I'm now an advocate within reason. I'm not a fanatic. In our business, I think it has great aptitude or great ability to be used, but it's not the solution to all our problems. But certainly what we've done is through Twitter, I met experts in LinkedIn, and experts in Twitter, trainers, and I hired them. And they have trained our entire company. And so now every person in our company, bar a few who are not interested, we don't force people, have a corporate Twitter account, and we've trained them how to use it, and how to facilitate spreading the brand. Every person has an up-to-date, properly designed LinkedIn page. We have country Facebook and LinkedIn accounts, which are very active. We have a corporate blog. We have a country social media manager for every country. So we're no doubt behind many organisations, but on the other hand, we're very aware of it. We're interacting with our customers through social media, and it's paying dividends too already.
Well, it sounds like you're certainly integrating a lot of the different social media channels to what you do.